George says, for you funnel freaks out there, what are the do's and don'ts for making confirmation/scheduling pages as conversion friendly as possible? Lots of info, little bit of info. So next up, we got our man of pool says, question for Q&A, minor disagreement. This is from chapter 8. You mentioned the chances of AI sales bots lasting 10 years are very low. Do you still stand by that? AI sales bots are essentially software, and while it's true they might not exist in 10 years, wouldn't the same logic apply to Facebook groups or YouTube channels you recommend in the workshop? After all, algorithms can change and platform could ban a channel tomorrow, or maybe I'm not getting this correctly. He says, there's so many different ways people suggest formatting your VSLs. What have you all found that works and converts well? Hard to sift through the noise and decide which format is best. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another weekly Q&A. You guys are asking good questions, building cool stuff, and I'm here to be the degenerate who tries his best anyway to answer those questions. Just a couple quick little announcements. Number one, this will be our last Q&A of 2024. I will see you guys again in the new year. I forget what the first Monday is, but I will see you guys in the new year. But we are going to take a couple weeks break, enjoy the holidays, have some family time. Appreciate all you guys who watch this. Second thing, we still have either 1 or 2 spots left for our January event. When they're gone, they're gone. For those of you guys who are interested, I tried to make it super affordable. We're going to have an awesome time. I will put some details. I'll paste that into a comment. Let me just put that here. By the way, one of the people who's coming back from said it was a life-changing event, and I believe in that is that when you commit to really living what I call the more beach, less laptop kind of lifestyle, good things come out of it. So I'm just trying to get this document to share with you guys if I can find it. Those 1-2 spots, by the way, are possibly accounted for. So if you're interested, let me know, because when they're gone, they are gone, ladies and gentlemen. Let me just January 17th and 19th. I'm going to put the details. There we go. And lastly, for those of you guys who are interested in the Wolfpack Mastermind, give me a holler, because 2025 is just we're going to hit some next level shit. Anyways, let's get into the good stuff. Your questions. That's why you guys are here. You don't give a fuck about me and this old man rapping. Just a little warning before we go here. I've been a little sick, and we've also had some electrical problems here. Sometimes it's just third worldy strange. So also sometimes I can't see your comments. Now is one of those times where I just pasted my own comment and it doesn't show up. So I may, if you ask something live, I may answer it after. Anyways, let's get into the good stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Frankie Fihn proudly brings to you I got a cough, so I need a drink for this one. Our weekly Q&A. The Daddy Golden Guns. All right. Let's get into it. You guys are building cool stuff. Let's talk about it. So first up is Omar, who says, I'm trying to land a client in the home improvement niche. I put together a 3-email sequence. So far, only 2 have gone out. Total who received this first email are 50. The second one's about 10. Some of them are opening my emails multiple times, but so far 0 responses. I was wondering if you could take a look at them and tell me if I'm doing something wrong, or maybe 50 emails is just not enough to judge this. Here's the email subject about that Google ad campaign. Hi, I was researching roofing contractors. I came across your Google ad below. Don't worry, I didn't click it. I know how annoying that can be when people click your ads and they're not customers. Insert image of ad here. If I helped you to extract 10 to 24% more revenue from your current campaigns without having to pay for more leads, would you be interested? Sincerely, Omar. He says, P.S. Our service is performance-based. We use our time, expertise, and resources to fill your pipeline with more opportunities. No contracts or monthly retainer fees. All right. So I got a lot to say about this. As I often do. I'm an opinionated fella. Can't help it. Can't help it. So number one is, I wrote a post about this the other day, and this is a common thing I see across the board when people send me these things. So the first thing is, you are talking to the wrong person about the wrong thing. The wrong person is you, and the wrong thing is your thing. Okay? Let me just say that again because I don't think people get it. And I'm going to show you, I'm going to reread your message, and I want you guys to count with me the number of times I hear I. Now, this is really important because skeptical ass strangers on the internet do not and never will give a fuck about you. Right? So I'm going to read the message, okay? So there are some good elements, but I'm gonna roast you guys here because a lot of you guys do this. I was researching roofing companies. I came across your Google ad. Don't worry, I did not click it. I know how annoying that can be when people click your ads and they're not customers. If I helped you to extract more revenue from your current Google campaigns without having to pay more leads, would you be interested? Our service is performance-based. We use time, expertise, and resources to fill your pipeline with opportunities. No monthly contract. There is 7 times in that message you've just talked about yourself. 7. Our service. Our service. And they're never going to care about that. Ever. Right? So you really, this is a thing, and I actually, just inside the Wolfpack, it's such a thing. I actually created my own custom GPT for this because it's such a problem where people, they can tell you what their service is, but they can't tell you what problems it solves for the person, on the other side, and also what outcomes it creates. So there's another point I would say is like it doesn't really talk about any of their problems and what they're trying to do, and the outcomes are typical marketing overhyped wishy-washiness. So I'll give you some of the having to pay for more leads. Okay, so that's wishy-washy. What is more leads? Like, are you going to get me 10 people, 20 people, whatever, right? So, like, what kind of people are you going to bring? All of that is wishy-washy. Our service is performance-based. We use our time, expertise, and resources to fill your pipeline. Fill your pipeline, by the way. That's one of those generic things that marketers say that doesn't actually land with clients, but we think it does. So I'm going to fill your pipeline with more leads. By the way, do you think somebody who's been in business 10, 20 years thinks you're going to show up, send a message, and all of a sudden their calendar is just going to be booked solid? Or that they would even want that? Probably not. So when I say that, part of the reason is you're actually like, again, you're like, your result, your offer is off the mark. So this is why, again, like I built this bot inside of the mastermind, and I'll probably release this inside of a course or something like that. But what do roofers care about? Work for their guys, slow season, certain types of job, roofing installs, things like that. So like if I was to rewrite this message, it'd be like, hey, ABC Roofing, saw your ad where you're trying to book full roofing installs. Picture the ad. And then it might say something like, based on the volume you're already running through, I would be shocked if there weren't 1, 2, 3 extra jobs in there just from your turndowns. Would you be open to having us call them back for you and doing it on a performance deal? Like, it would really be that simple. And there's lots of ways you can do this. So I don't want to make it sound like my way is the only way, but I'm just telling you guys what has worked for us. But really simple messages that are all about them and what they're trying to do. And in the case, because you wrote for a roofer, they're probably pretty interested in full roofing installs, bigger jobs, things like that, right? So be careful with this I'm going to fill your calendar, more leads, more sales, over-promise thing, and really just focus on like I always say the best promise is actually if you had to only promise one of something, what would that one be? And you had to be really specific about what that one thing was. Like what would and this comes from them, not from you, by the way. What's the one thing they most want to sell? If you don't know the answer to that question, by the way, you can Google it. Or you can ask ChatGPT. You can ask, hey, I'm trying to talk to roofers. What problems are they trying to solve? What are they most trying to sell? And ChatGPT will tell you that answer too. But what you can't do, by the way, is just talk about yourself because they won't care. They're not going to care now. They're not going to care later. They're not going to care at some future point. And then having said that, yes, 50 messages is not a lot. I think most people underestimate how hard or how high the bar is for cold outreach. Everyone gravitates to cold outreach, and in my opinion, there are 2 reasons people do it. Reason number 1, it's free for the most part, other than maybe a little bit of software, does not cost money. And 2, I also think strategically, it's the easiest to wrap your head around. But having said that, like it's literally the most inefficient way of doing it. And I had this conversation with a couple of attorney clients I've had, and They've been getting cold pitch since 2008, motherfuckers. 2008. And they'll tell me they get 50 to 100 messages a day. A day. So I want you to imagine 100 messages a day on the high side. That is times 365. That's 36,500 messages in their inbox per year. Then I want you to multiply the fact that they've been in business almost 20 years. They've been getting those messages. And now you're like the 500, 600,000th message they've received. So I say this to you guys because like people underestimate how high the bar is to get people. I know like in the rest of the agency space, it's sold just like send a cold DM and they'll sign up and you'll get like 20 grand and you'll be a fucking trillionaire overnight. Very rarely does that happen in practice, which is why I get so many of these messages. I did what the other gurus said to do. I sent the cold DM and nobody fucking threw credit cards at me. The other thing nobody talks about is like even when you get them on a call, they don't know who you are, they don't know what you do, they don't know what it costs, so like they're going to be cold, skeptical strangers. So I will link it in the replay, but I did a video about 6 ways you can get clients. And by the way, like these are the 6 things I've seen proven time and time again over 20 years. And cold DMing is only one of those. And every day people message me and think they have to cold DM strangers. You don't. You don't. You can if you really want to do it. If you like inefficient way. I like cold DMing as a way to validate offers with skeptical strangers. Before I turn on the paid traffic machine, I want to know, like, get real feedback from skeptical strangers. But having said that, like 50 is barely scratching the surface. Like I know when you send that message, it's probably the most important thing happening in your world. In their world, it's barely a blip. They probably looked at it for about 10 seconds. And so I think most people underestimate how difficult it is to stand out in their inbox and also how much repetition it takes to actually break through. And I believe, by the way, as AI fills the airwaves, it's going to take even more repetitions to get through in their space. And this is something that nobody else fucking talks about, is like they just make it like send a cold DM and you'll be a fucking trillionaire. And like I'm not saying that never happens, but fuck is that way harder than most people act like it is in our space. So anyways, hope that's helpful to the rest of you guys. But here's a simple way to write better. Okay, use the word you. Talk about their problems and specific results. Think one of something, not I'm going to fill your calendar with millions of fucking motherfuckers. Think about, like, if I can only promise one specific thing, right? And give you an example, like specificity prints fucking cash. Just for the love of God, if you take one thing from me, be more fucking specific, right? So like we had a guy who came to us and his offer was I'll get you quality leads or I'll guaranteed, okay? And so what he wanted to do is all the generic platitudes like everybody else is doing. I'll fill your calendar. I'll get you 10, 20%, more. And I said, like, what makes a lead quality? And in his case, he was in personal injury. He said, well, they're in a motor vehicle accident. I said, what else? And we eventually reduced it down to 4 things. He said, well, they weren't at fault for the accident. They're inside of the statute of limitations. So there's a thing where you can't sue somebody forever. Like you have a window of time. They're still in that window of time. They said they're not already retained by another attorney, and they have insurance. And so when we changed the promise from like, oh, we'll get you more quality leads, guaranteed, to we'll get you motor vehicle accident cases that are qualified for, don't have an attorney, inside statute of limitations, not at fault for the accident, and have insurance. For less than $500 a signed case. Like, boom, offer clicks. And it's the same deliverable, by the way. And this is a hard thing for people to understand, but you can take the same deliverable and make like thousands of different offers. In the same way, like think about a restaurant. Like how many different things can a restaurant make? And they can have 2-for-1 chicken wing specials, happy hour, drink special. We got a live band, right? They can make millions of different offers out of the exact same fucking deliverable. So I don't want you guys to think about like my deliverable is my offer. It's not. But if you get more specific, like think just one of something. I'm going to bring you one specific thing. What is that? You'll write better messages. Write about you. Write about one specific thing. Promise, it'll come across as better. George says, for you funnel freaks out there, what are the do's and don'ts for making confirmation/scheduling pages as conversion friendly as possible? Lots of info, little bit of info. I'm going to give you the biggest takeaway, okay, George? And I'm on the bandwagon here, so we might as well do this. This is why I do what I do. Everything is a fucking offer. Everything. By the way, I'll even tell you, even as a parent, you want to get your kids to do some shit? If you say, like, go to bed, doesn't work. But you make an offer, you say, go to bed, and tomorrow morning, you get to unlock your Advent calendar and get a piece of chocolate. Those motherfuckers want to go to bed. So you always have to, like, if you want people to move towards you, you have to get good at this offer-making skill. It is like a non-negotiable. I actually think it's like the pinnacle of internet marketing skills. The reason I say that, a call is an offer, and it is not as good of an offer as most beginners think. Okay? So I'll tell you the biggest reason. Okay? As soon as somebody becomes busy and successful in life, in other words, has money at the very least in the game of business, they become more judicious about how they give away their time. Right? Like, I know for me, if I jumped on a call with everybody who asked me, or, you know, took every opportunity that got thrown my way, I literally wouldn't have time to do any of my own shit. So by default, my answer to everything is no. Right? So if I'm going to jump on a call or do something with somebody, there has to be a pretty fucking good reason. And so you really want to think about your call as an offer. So the question I have is, what are they going to get out of the call? Right, so I know in George's case, for those of you guys who are familiar with him, he helps gutter cleaning companies. So what does a gutter cleaning company want? Well, they probably want specific types of jobs, and they probably want solutions to slow seasons. So, like, the promise to me is that you're going to give them a plan for that. That's why they're booking a call. It's not book a call for the sake of a call. This isn't let's just talk for 15 minutes to shoot the shit. This is, I'm going to give you a clear, tangible action plan. And the part where you make money is do you want my help implementing it? Now, having said that, it's been years since we did book a call funnels, but we did very well with them. Our best stuff was just simple, and then, like, you know, give them a reason to get on a call, and then book a time, and then right after, if you got it, the confirmation page, like, load that motherfucker up with social proof. And I'm going to give you guys a helpful tip for a lot of you guys who are beginners, who are getting calls or getting conversations but not closing. I found out very early on, you can get testimonials from people who don't buy from you. Fun fact. So I'd get on a call with a lawyer, and they would not give me a credit card, and I'd say, hey, there's other lawyers out there that are thinking about booking a call. Is it okay if I just hit record and share with them what your experience was? And they said, yeah, absolutely. And they would go, hey, this call with Frankie was really great. I got, like, so much valuable insight about what I'm supposed to do and action steps, blah, blah, blah. And then I would stick that on my testimonial page. This was before, by the way, before I had a single paying client. So I share that with you because, like, we had like 10, 12 testimonials. Do you need those things? No, but I'll tell you, people will come in hot and ready to a call if they see other people saying it's cool shit. So, but the biggest thing is, like, really, really think about a call as an offer. What are they going to get out of the call? And usually it's some form of strategy. And again, the more specific you are about how that strategy is going to pertain to them. So, like, if I was doing SEO and, like, say, you know, for example, like we were doing this for restoration contractors, I wouldn't say, let's jump on a call. I'd say, hey, let me show you where you can get 5 to 10 jobs right now from the competitors in places where you're in the 4 to 7 spot for specific keywords. I want to show you exactly where those low-hanging fruit opportunities are for you right now. And if you jump on a call, I'll show you where they are, and I'll show you exactly what you need to do to fix them. And if you want my help, I'll make you an offer. If you don't, that's cool too. Right? So now there's a reason to jump on a call. I want to figure out where the low-hanging fruit opportunities. I want to see where I can get these 5 or 10 jobs are. I want to see where those sort of hidden opportunities are. Now I'm not just jumping on a call just for the sake of jumping on a call. Again, people don't think about this. There is more risk to an offer than money. When you're broke, everybody thinks the risk is money related. As you become more successful, risk is time related, energy related. So a busy, successful person is leery of booking a call because they know it's just going to waste their fucking time, and they have a lot of shit to do, and they can't be just jumping on a call with everybody. So if you give them a valid reason, you're going to book a lot more calls as a general rule. And really think about what that reason is. I thought there was another one for George, but maybe I'm jumping out of order here. So this is from Oral, who says, I I see the same in other markets. The main problem is at the bottom, laziness, often coupled with false self-pride and intellectual short-sightedness. This applies not only to entrepreneurs, but also to other agencies. Good for us who take a closer look. Sorry, I'm just looking. I lost a question or two here today. So Oral's commenting on a post where the person says, worked with over 350 B2B startup founders on their positioning has made one thing clear. Founders have no idea what market they're actually competing in. The lack of clarity is driven by ignorance and just how fragmented and complex B2B markets be and usually are. Most founders have drastically oversimplified their definition of their target market, adjacent markets, and competitive alternatives. We'll hear things like we're in the revenue operations market and compete against Clary and Salesforce. We're in the analytics market and only compete with Tableau. These descriptions are lazy, but more importantly, they're not helpful when it comes to making critical positioning decisions. So let me just ramble on this for a minute here, because this is a common thing that I see where people think that other people just automatically want more. Just if I bring them more leads and more sales and more customers, and I'll tell you many reasons why people don't just automatically want more, okay? One is sometimes more is not actually profitable, right? There's a lot of more that's not profitable. So like, for example, I know for attorneys, if they get a traffic ticket case, they'll make $100-200 fighting a traffic ticket. But if they want to do it at any scale, they need to hire somebody to actually like do the work. And if they hire somebody, that paralegal wants $100-200 to fight it. And so they essentially make nothing. So if you just show up and say, like, I'll get you more leads and more sales and more customers and I'll get you more clients like everybody else, they think, great, more work, no money. More work and no money. No money at all. So when I say that to you guys, part of the reason I'm like harping on this is because you have to build your thing around solving a real problem for somebody specific. And I'll tell you, like, a lot of people get really fucking hung up on this whole quote unquote choosing a niche. Because they think if I choose the wrong niche, I'm going to be broke forever. And the reality is, in almost every niche, there's a spectrum. There's people who are broke in a niche. There are people who got money. Pick any niche, doesn't matter which one. Broke dentists, rich dentists. Broke yoga studio owners, rich yoga studio owners. Broke e-commerce stores, rich e-commerce stores. What we're doing in actually choosing a niche is twofold. One is we're choosing ultimately who we actually want to work with, and the side effect of this is this will make your messaging have what I call some fucking teeth. Like that motherfucker can bite. So I'll give you an example of this, okay? I had a mentor come to me years ago and say, I want you to come up with an ad for an athlete. And I sat there thinking, and I couldn't come up with one. And he was like, why can't you come up with it? And I was like, it just wasn't clear in my mind. He said, I want you to write an ad for a left-handed golfer with a slice. And that ad was so specific, like I don't even know anything about the fucking product, and I can write it. I'd say, hey, dear left-handed golfer with a slice, did you know we're not like righties? Do you know if you're consistently slicing the ball, it's because of these 3 reasons? And my Frankie Fihn Super Club Extraordinaire will make it so you hit perfect drives every time. You guys can tell I'm actually right-handed by my swing, but let's do it lefty. There we go. And so I realized, man, it's way easier to write an ad for a left-handed golfer with a slice than it is to try and speak to all athletes. When I was thinking about athletes, I'm like, am I talking to a wrestler? Am I talking to a weightlifter? Am I talking to like a decathlete? Am I talking to a football player? Like I just had more questions than answer. And so almost always, a lot of the reason most people can't write messaging with what I call teeth is because they're simply trying to talk to too many people at once. Instead of really like one ad to one person, okay? So this comes back to like Oral's point when it comes to messaging and positioning and those kind of things, like you need to fucking be specific. And then the second reason why this is important, why we're so big on like choose a niche is also because it makes your deliverable more repeatable. Instead of like solving 800 custom problems, is instead you're just solving one thing and you get to reuse the solution you created for the last client. So I'm sharing that with you guys because I feel like too many people just get hung up on the wrong shit and therefore just assume automatically people want more leads and more sales and more customers, and they don't. They don't. And there are lots of reasons. Like I'll get like another reason is it's actually like sometimes like very laborious grinding kind of work. So I think about my mom worked at a dental office for 23 years. You know the biggest problem dentists have? Neck and back pain. Like bent over somebody's mouth doing shit like this with little tools. And people hate you as a dentist. They're like, oh my God, please don't fucking hurt me. Please don't fucking drill in my teeth. That's like the general reaction to the dentist. So if you say to them, I'm going to get you more patients and more sales and more fucking customers, buddy. Like, yeah, okay, they want the more money part of it. But do you think they want more neck and back pain? Do you think they want more people screaming at them in pain? More people going, you barely even touched my teeth. Why is this $150? So this is why I say be specific. One of something. You'll immediately make your best messaging better if you stop in your mind trying to think about how can I talk to as many people as once and go, how can I talk to one left-handed golfer with a slice? Shit you not. Your messaging will all of a sudden just get better and your offer will get better and everything that comes with that. By the way, this is a thing. Like Facebook does not always show me your comments and shit in the admin side, and then I see a bunch of them after. So if you guys are commenting and I'm like ignoring you, it's not on purpose. So next up, we got our man of pool says question for Q&A, minor disagreement. This is from chapter 8. You mentioned the chances of AI sales bots lasting 10 years are very low. Do you still stand by that? AI sales bots are essentially software, and while it's true they might not exist in 10 years, wouldn't the same logic apply to Facebook groups or YouTube channels you recommend in the workshop? After all, algorithms can change and platform could ban a channel tomorrow, or maybe I'm not getting this correctly. Everything you're saying is valid there. So I'll tell you the deeper point I was trying to make, okay? You want to solve an evergreen problem for a market. That's it. Like, that's the only point I'm trying to make there. And the reason for that is because if you build your entire business around a tool, I guarantee you, if you do this long enough, the tools will change. I don't know if you guys can see my cat over there partying up in the window, just eating all my shit. That's they call that one Cookie Galleta. We never use their names, so I kind of forgot for a second. Anyways, so I'll give you an example of this. Back in the day, I used to use a lot of SEO tools. There was one called SE Nuke. There was one called Scrapebox. There was one called Xroomer. They were sort of black hat tools, but I kind of used them differently than most people did. But I saw people build entirely business around, I'm the SE Nuke Pro. And they had a campaign that was like the biggest campaign you could run on the software. It was called a Full Monty campaign. And I watched people build an entire business around Full Monty. Then one day, Google came along, did an update, and that campaign went to shit right overnight. And I watched many, many businesses disappear and never recover. So am I against software and tools? No, of course not. But I think it's a smarter idea to think about the person and the problem first and then build a solution around that and be willing to adapt as time changes. So what I mean by that, I get messages from people every day who say, I'm having a hard time selling my sales chatbot. And part of the reason they have such difficulty selling it is because they started with what I call the hammer, their thing, the tool, rather than the problem it solves and the outcome it creates. So when they start with the hammer and they go, I got a chatbot that'll chat you up and motherfucking make sales happen, motherfucker. What they didn't think about was, like, for example, like if I was pitching this to somebody who worked in an office, I know one of the problems is they're very good at answering the phone Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. But then I say, what happens at 5:01 to the next morning? What happens Saturday? What happens Sunday? Do people still call you from your Google listing? Let our AI chatbot answer your after hours, and it's 1,000 times cheaper than an employee. So I started with the problem. Nobody answers the phone after hours. I started with the fact that it is expensive to hire for help to have 24/7 phone coverage. Let our AI sales chat bot answer those calls for you. It sounds like a small detail, and it kind of is, but man, it'll dramatically change your actual results with selling it. Okay? It will. Let me say that again. It will dramatically change your results with selling it because people. I wish I understood this. I had a mentor say this to me many years ago, and it took me a few years to really register this. They are not buying their way into your solution. They are buying their way out of their problem. Let me say that again, because they are not buying their way into your solution. They are buying their way out of their problem. So, in the example I just gave, they are not buying the AI sales chatbot 9,000 and how many more leads and sales calls. They are buying their way out of the fact that at 5:01, I start losing fucking money because calls come in and I have no way of handling those. Right? So if you understand that, you don't hammer them home with the tool, you hammer them home with the problem. And my favorite kind of problem to solve, personally, is the type that is evergreen. This is why, by the way, like I'm big on offers, and I've staked my agency flag in I'm the I can help you with offers. Why? Because people are always going to need help with their offers. Always. Always. I don't care whether an AI chatbot comes up tomorrow or like you got a fucking chip in your brain and people can't fucking make the chip work. They're still going to have trouble with offers. So this is my way of saying that start with the market, start with the problem, start with the person. You can still sell tools, but don't make it about the fucking tool. Make it about the person. It sounds so simple, but then I go to 20 agency owner websites and they all talk about their fucking tool and their solution. It says, we are AI chatbots, we do SEO, we do pay-per-click, we make websites, we do SEO, we're going to go high-level SaaS. And none of them say, hey, Mr. Client, I know this is your problem. Here, here, and here. And you don't have a way to answer the phone after hours. So let me show you a new way to answer the phone after hours for a fraction of the cost of what it would pay you to hire a receptionist to be available 24/7 with no health benefits and blah, blah, blah. We're selling against the problem. So this is why I say you really have to adapt the idea that we're problem solvers. That's all I was trying to make with this. The point of this is that, like, we ain't the do this for everyone awesome tool. Like, and I'm not against tools. I just want you to know tools will come and go. I remember 8 years ago when it looked like ClickFunnels was never going to be taken down. How many of you guys still use ClickFunnels now? Like, all you motherfuckers are on Go High Level. And I hate to break it to you, but Go High Level will come and go too. Something else will come in and replace it. Maybe there's an AI tool where you can just talk to it and makes funnels automatically. Or maybe there's an advancement in web design in general making the whole thing obsolete. I don't fucking know what it is. I'm not claiming to know, but I've just done this for 20 years and I've seen tools come and go. And when people stake their flag in the tool, they're fucking lost little puppies when that tool goes bye-bye. So for example, 4 years ago, everybody was hot and bothered? TikTok agency. I'm going to start a TikTok agency. Way motherfucking easier. That's a tool. TikTok agency. It's not a problem. It's not about a person and a problem. Guess what happens when all of a sudden there's 27 competing TikTok agencies and it gets hard? They go looking for the next greener pasture. And so I see people starting over continuously. And this is why I'm ranting about this. Because I don't want you guys to start over. I want you guys, when you work at it and get fucking momentum, that it stays because you built it around an evergreen problem. And so it continues to build and continues to build. In some ways, you want to build what I call unstoppable momentum where you can't shut it off. Like, I think about this. I was mentioning this to our mastermind members. When I first decided I wanted to do this stuff with you guys, I had zero momentum. Just so you know, zero. Nobody cared who I was or what I did. And I started putting stuff out there, and it took a while, but eventually we got real momentum. Now I'm at the stage where I have what I would call unstoppable momentum, meaning like just based on the videos and stuff I already got out there, like there's going to be people watching my shit, consuming, reaching out. I couldn't turn that off if I wanted to. Not that I'm trying to. But you don't get to unstoppable momentum if you build it around a fucking tool that's constantly built on a foundation of changing sand. This is why I say start with the person, start with the problem. Use the tools to help the person and the problem. But don't make your whole existence about the fucking tool. And there is an exception in that, by the way, is if you are the top 1% in the entire fucking world at that tool, then I would build it around the tool. So, for example, like I have a friend named Joel, and he's got an agency called the Webinar Agency, and they sell shit tons of stuff through webinars. And he is a top 1% master at webinars. So for him, it makes sense to build his business around, we know how to sell through webinars. But having said that, like most people are not going to succeed with that sort of model. So anyways, I hope that makes sense. Just looking for the last question. I'm scrolling. I forgot to copy and paste it. Normally, just so you guys know, behind the scenes, I copy and paste all this stuff into a Word doc, and then I just read the questions off there. But for some reason, I forgot to today. So let's see if I can find it. Stalling for time. Maybe I should just search this. But here we go. George. George says, I'm unsure of how to best respond to this email from a hot prospect in order to facilitate a sale. During our strategy session, we did discuss some specifics like he mentions. Is it important to say exactly what actions, content, solutions we would implement in the proposals? Help. So the guy says, hi, George. Thank you for taking the time to discuss the SEO strategy for our company name. I've had a chance to review the materials you provided, and I have to be honest, it feels more like a general overview rather than a tailored plan specific to our needs. Based on the initial video you shared, I was expecting something more actionable and specific. I was hoping to see detailed insights like here are the specific titles we recommend updating why. These are the types of content we suggest creating. As I reviewed this site, I noticed several areas where I believe we can make impactful changes on our own. With that in mind, I'd like to test some of these adjustments internally first. If we don't see meaningful results, I'm open to revisiting this conversation in the new year. Regarding Google Ads, I'm still interested and would be open to exploring that option whenever you think the timing is right. Now, I disagree, by the way. I saw this. George posted this in two groups, ours and another group, Josh's group. And the general consensus was that this person is just looking for some free help where they don't actually have to like pay somebody and they can keep it all in-house. I'm just going to close my office door because I hear my kids coming in. They're loud little motherfuckers. So I'm here to tell you guys that I strongly disagree with that consensus. And I believe that in general, like if you could talk to, in George's cases, 100 gutter companies, I would say 80 to 90 of them never, ever, ever, ever want to do their own SEO. And the 10 to 20% who want to do it in-house are either so broke that they have to, or they are so advanced that they now have their own internal teams, which describes maybe less than 5% of them in general. So I'm here to tell you they don't want to do their own SEO. And one of my mentors, I don't know if I can find the book real quick. My Messy Office. Here we go. Travis Sago. Make them beg to buy. He says, never give your offer unless they are bought into the plan. So essentially when you give a proposal or when you give an idea, whatever, you are essentially giving your plan. And what this person said is this just sounds like an overly generic plan. And so because they were not bought into the plan, they're not going to buy into your offer attached to it either. This is why, by the way, Loom videos are all about showing specific things that you're actually going to do for people. Not just generic like more links and more sales and we'll improve your rankings. And I'll tell you, the biggest reason people are doing this is not because they want to do it themselves. It is because for the vast majority of businesses, they have been burned by things like SEO and pay-per-click and web designers who promised the moon and in their experience came very, very short of delivering the moon. And so why they're asking for the specifics is not because they actually want to do them. It's because they want to know that you have a real fucking plan of action and plan to execute it. These keywords, these are the changes I want to make to your business profile. These are the changes I want to make to your site. You only got 50 reviews. We're going to need 100 to compete with ABC gutter cleaning, right? So the specifics are fucking everything, everything. And the way to do this is show them what you're going to do, but not how. So to me, it's like often, by the way, like when I used to sell SEO back in the day, I'm known as a Loom video guy, but in reality, actually, that began many years ago when the software was Camtasia. They had something called Jing, and they had another one, called Camtasia. But Jing was the one that was easy to share online, like Loom is now. And I just use a free version because it let you do 5-minute videos. But I would just like go on their site, like this is fucked up, that's fucked up. I'm going to fix this, I'm going to fix that. And in doing so, you're demonstrating you have a real plan of action to be executed. And that is a huge part of converting sales. So I know everybody says like respond to all this clever shit, but I would actually get specific on your fucking plans only if you like making money and closing them. Because I promise you, if you talk to 10 gutter companies, 8 or 9 of them don't want to do this shit on their own. They don't want to be SEO people, but they have no other way to judge your competence level. So like if you can really understand that, like if they bought into your plan, they ain't going to buy the shit attached to it. And by the way, one of the easiest ways to find out whether they're bought into your plan or not, this one question. Use this on a sales call or use it in text, whatever, if you want to close in text, or put it in a video at the end of a Loom video before you mention price. Go, based on this, what do you think of that plan for you? And if they say that sounds exactly like what we need, close, because they will buy your shit. And if they say, well, I was kind of hoping for some of those more specifics, they ain't going to buy your shit. So if they're bought into the plan, they'll buy the thing attached to it. If they're not, they won't. And so an easy way to find out where you are in a sale before you've talked money, before you've asked for it, before you've brought up numbers and objections and things like that, just to ask, what do you think of my plan? And if they're not bought into the plan, this is where you actually want to do the objection handling, not after at the end. Not when you brought out the credit card, go, well, it sounds like you've had some bad experiences with SEO. Let me show you where this is going to be different. Let me show you what we're actually going to do here that's actually going to move the needle. They don't really want to do this in-house. They just don't believe your plan will get them there. I know that hurts to hear, but that's the fucking truth of it. And that's true for a lot of you guys, because it's just like it's general and unspecific. Ain't trying to hurt nobody's feelings, just being real with you guys that you want to sell like actionable shit. And if you got a real solution, by the way, you can be actionable, right? Like that's not made up. So anyways, I hope that's helpful, dude, because like this is a thing that's going to come up, and I'll tell you, for me, like it was such just a point of headache, because I would hate getting all the way to the fucking sale, and then they ask for the proposal, and then they just fucking, string you along, and eventually you realize they're not going to buy it, and you feel like you were so close, and in reality, they just weren't bought into the plan, so they won't buy it. By the way, this is the power of clear, specific plan. Okay, my favorite example of this. This is not somebody I know personally, but they were asking, it was a thread of how did you get your first client? And there was a lady there who said there was a local Facebook group, and a Chinese restaurant posted, hey, we're interested in getting a new website. They had 200 people apply in the first hour. 200 web designers went, me, pick me. So she did something different than everybody else. She went on a physical piece of paper, printed out their website. They were local to her. So then she also made a mock-up of what she thought their website could look like. Quick little WordPress template or whatever. And then printed that out on paper. And then she drove to the restaurant and said, hey, I saw you guys in that group. You're looking for a website. I know you got a million choices. Here is your old shitty-ass website. Here is the new one I would like to build for you. And the magic question, what do you think of that plan? What do you think of that website? They said, that looks way better. I would love to have our website look like that. So most people who are beginners think the plan is some secret sauce, okay? If I give away the plan, they're going to want to do it themselves. I'm here to tell you, after 20 years in business, implementation is everything. And you can give away ideas for free, because the real magic is that you're going to implement it, right? Okay, it's a cool idea, but ideas are worthless if they don't get that website actually fucking built. right? So this is why I say you can give away the idea, the process, what you intend to do without holding back. They're not trying to steal it. They're trying to use it as a way to assess your level of competency and certainty and ability to actually execute that, to implement it. And if you just give them a generic, like, well, we're going to increase this and improve that and optimize your on page and blah, 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 like, it just sounds like everybody else to them. I'll tell you, it's very different. Like, one of the things that I've done to sell SEO is I pull up a keyword and I'm like, look, motherfucker, you're number 5 right here for this keyword. And all the phone calls are in 1 to 3. And you're not far from there. If I'm doing something, this is the lowest hanging fruit. I'm going to take this one, I'm going to make these 3 changes, and I'm going to bump you and get you in the top 3 for those. And that's the first place we're going to start getting phone calls from. They'll buy that. That's a real, specific, tangible plan. I don't talk about backlinks. I don't talk about optimizing. I don't talk about header and H1 tags and any of that shit. I show them where the phone calls are going to come from. So anyways, I hope that's helpful to you, my dude, because I feel like personally you got a lot of bad advice on that thread of people like, oh, they're just trying to do it themselves. No, they're fucking not. They started a gutter cleaning company because they like cleaning gutters. You think they want to fucking build websites and do SEO? You're out of your fucking mind. Right? What they want to do is have somebody in their corner that knows what the fuck they're doing. And I'm using the F word a lot, but I'm emphasizing a point here, so hopefully it's coming through beyond the profanity. All right, another question. And this is actually in another group, but I just thought it would benefit you guys. Where did I go? Our man Jean, I'm just pulling up the question. I forgot to copy and paste these into the Google Doc. He says, there's so many different ways people suggest formatting your VSLs. What have you all found that works and converts well? Hard to sift through the noise and decide which format is best. Okay, so for those of you guys who are not familiar with the acronym, VSL stands for Video Sales Letter. And if you guys want to think of it that way, our Loom process that so many people have used successfully over the years is a form of a video sales letter. Okay? So there are a lot of different ways one can do a VSL, and probably I think what adds to the confusion is that there is more than one way to be successful at this. Right? It's not like there's just one, have to do it this way. If you deviate from this, you're going to be a fucking loser and nothing else works. There's probably 1,000 ways to be successful and 1,000,000 ways to fail. So there's more ways to be wrong about it, but there's definitely more than one way to be right about it. So obviously you got to find what works with your style. Now, I'll tell you why I think our Loom process is so effective. Because it is not about the things people think it is. It is not about the slides. It's not about how slick the presentation is. It's because after having done thousands, literally thousands of sales calls over the years, you tend to get asked the same exact questions again and again and again and again. And not only do you get asked them, but you often get asked them in the same exact order. And sometimes they'll ask those questions different ways, meaning like they phrase it a little bit differently, but the answer they're looking for is kind of the same. So like, tell me all what you guys do, and like, here's my situation. Like, can you guys help with this? You know, they ask that all kinds of ways, but they're essentially saying like, what problem can you solve for me? So why I'm so big on the Loom format is we are preemptively answering the questions that I know 100% certainty you are going to get asked, and we're answering them in a visual, straightforward, and impactful way with a no bullshit, here is what we can do. So for example, if somebody asks you like, what do you all do? Can you tell me a little bit about your company? They're not really asking like, what does your company do? They're saying, what can you do for me? And we found the best way to answer that is show them a picture of a typical average result you would get and say, that's what we do. Whether that is a client result or an example lead you get or a form fill or playing a phone call or whatever, but that's what you actually do from their vantage point for them. And so the more you just answer the questions they're already asking, the more effective your VSL can be. Now, in a lot of mass market stuff in their VSL, they have a thing called a hero story, and a hero story is like a how I discovered this magic thing that turned everything around. We have experimented with those in our VSLs. And what I have found personally is that those things work really, really well when you are selling to mass market people. Why? They have longer attention spans. They tend to consume more entertainment, right? And so they'll watch a 45-minute video. But for example, if you were talking to one of the most successful dentists in the state of Colorado, he's a busy dude, and he ain't going to watch your 45-minute backstory about how you came to discover this secret content strategy. And so this is the other thing with Loom videos, is they're designed for successful people with money to get to the fucking point quickly. And so we're just answering the questions we already know they're going to ask. What is it you guys do? And they're not asking because they care about you. They want to know, what is it going to do for me? So you show them, this is what it's going to do for you. Then they see that thing and they go, that sounds interesting. Wonder if that would work for me. So then we go, it'll work for you if whatever criteria needs to be true for them to be successful with it. Then they wonder, okay, how does it work? And this is the thing that's missing for most people's presentation. So we break it down in 3 to 5 steps with pictures, by the way, showing them the steps. We say, this is how it comes together. Then, if they get through those things, they'll want to know, how much is it? So we've learned using what I call the IVQ formula, is present the price, but also present the value alongside the price, thereby making the price seem like a discount, and also qualify again and restate who this is for and who it is not for. And then the last piece that people forget is, if they want to buy it, we assume they already know how to buy it. That they just tell us. But in reality, they don't know what link they're supposed to go. They don't know if there's a page. Do I talk to you? Do I ask? Do I sign up on the website? They don't know. So you have to actually spell out, if you would like to buy it, click the button. Go here. Fill this out. Do that. And so obviously I'm a little biased on it, but a Loom video, just so you guys know, is a sales call in fast forward. Do 1,000 sales calls. You're going to answer the same fucking questions. Do them in fast forward. And that's all we're doing. So, yeah, okay, I understand. Somebody says, use this kind of slide, do this kind of thing. I'm here to say, let's simplify that. What you really need to think about is what the person on the other side of the presentation wants, and making that abundantly clear how you are going to help them and answer those questions in order. And this does not need a long build-up story. In fact, busy, successful people, I actually have an interview we did in the group with a client of mine named Mo. You guys can search it, M-O-E. You just search my last name and Mo, and you'll find the video. And it's also on the YouTube channel for those of you guys who are watching this on YouTube. And it's with Mo talking about how he likes to be pitched, how a client sees. And by the way, what he says in there, and I didn't force him to say that. I really just want to know, what's it going to do for me? How's it work? How much is it? What do I need to do if I want to get started? That's it, which is what we put in a video. Right? And he also, by the way, got closed in video. That's part of the deal. So I sent him a video and he closed in video. But we're answering the questions they want to fucking know. We're not just doing this randomly. So, is there more than one VSL format that works? Of course. Of course. But I think the more you strip away the 45-minute hero story and trying to make this overly polished sales presentation, and the more you just answer the direct fucking questions that they are going to want to know the answers to, the more directly you're going to sell your stuff and make this easier for people. So anyways, I hope that's helpful to you, brother, because this is a thing I see a lot of. I really see this a lot. And that looks like all the questions we have. If you guys ask questions on the actual thread, I don't see them because I don't know, for whatever reason, sometimes when I go in here, it just doesn't show this shit live for me. It just I see the questions after the fact. But anyways, that's what I got for that. For those of you guys who missed the beginning, couple quick little things. One of those is we have been building some tools, and one of the tools I've been building for our mastermind folks is, this is a thing people struggle with all the time, is they can tell me what their service is. I do SEO, I do pay-per-click, I do websites, I do go high level SaaS. We get reviews. We build funnels. We do pay-per-click ads. We do Facebook ads. We make videos. People can tell me what their thing is, but what they cannot do, which is far more important, is articulate which problems it solves for their existing clients and which outcome it creates for them, not for you. Right? Like if you get a number one ranking, that's the outcome according to you. But to them, they may get a phone call from somebody who says, I'm looking for a new roof replacement. And that's the outcome that they're actually after, not the intermediate step of being number one in Google. And so I've been building some tools and things like that to really make that easier, where you can just tell AI about your service and it'll tell you which problems. It's pre-programmed. By the way, there's only like 6-7 problems we solve repeatedly, and it's programmed with those specifics, and it'll tell you how to frame your thing as an actual offer and a conversation for your people. So if you guys are interested in that, let's have a talk about the Wolfpack, because I want to make that super easy for you guys. Because the more you can make offers and sell, like, you can get anything you want in this world. I really mentioned this in book 2, but like, there's 3 ways to get whatever you want in life, at least financial life. Way number 1, build it yourself from the ground up. And that, by the way, takes the longest amount of time generally and has the most amount of mistakes. Way number 2, you hire somebody who knows what they're doing. There's obviously pitfalls in hiring people, but assuming you hire correctly, then it'll cost you more money, but it'll save you a bunch of time, and that's generally why people pay somebody. But there's a third thing, and I use an analogy of a swimming pool in there. And the story I tell is that, like, at our old house, it gets like 100 degrees, by the way, like almost 40 Celsius for those of you guys who are in metric. Here in the summertime, it's like hot as balls. And where we lived, like, it was kind of, an affluent neighborhood, but not all the houses had pools. Some of them did and some of them didn't. We didn't. Our current house has a pool, so that's cool. But when it's really, really hot, like, you don't always know what you want to do. And so one of the things we did is I found out my neighbor who had a pool. It was like literally next door, and there's no fence between our places. Like, I could just walk over. She was gone, I don't know, like 11 and a half months a year. She would come for like 2-3 weeks at Christmas. It was her second home, and then she would go. And so I reached out to her and said, like, hey, I noticed you pay a pool cleaner like $10 a week to come by. Can I just pay that for you? And she said, what do you want to pay that for? And I said, well, to be honest, I want to use your pool. I want to take my kids swimming. Now, if you understand, like, as a metaphor, that what you're really after in life, financially or otherwise, is just the experience of swimming and being able to have that pool, the third way is to make an offer and get it right away. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. Go straight to it. So if what you want in life is a swimming pool, you can build that motherfucker from the ground up and make every mistake possible. You can hire people and skip the line, or you can make offers and have it right away. And so this is why I've been making tools to make it easier for you guys to make offers that are on point. Because when you do this, like, anything you want in life is just a fucking offer away. Like, it's already built. There's already swimming pools built. You do not need to build a swimming pool from the ground up. You just need to make an offer to get control or own one that's already there. And so this is why, like, to me, it's the skill of skills, and kind of encompasses what we've been talking about today, which is, like, stop talking about your shit, start learning how to make offers and anything you want. And by the way, when you get with those of you guys who are in the hiring stages, offer. Trying to get employees to do what you want, offer. Trying to keep clients happy over the long term, offer. Try and get your kids to do what you want, offer. Try and get your family to cooperate, offer. Try and get your entire team to buy into culture, offer. Right? So this is why I say, like, it's the skill of skills. Like, you can organize and get people to do shit you want them to do. And yeah, it's like, I don't know, just, it's cool. Learn it because it's cool. And for those of you guys who are interested, you can check out the Wolfpack, beyondagencyprofits.com/Wolfpack. I think the more you understand the offer making skill, the easier your life is going to be in general, like financially, because you don't, instead of like doing what everybody else does and building swimming pools or hiring people to make swimming pools, you just go, hey, that swimming pool over there, can I have it? And they go, yes. And that's it. You're swimming 5 minutes later. What happens is, what people can't measure it in time and energy. If you don't know offers, what happens is you build it yourself and you make a lot of mistakes. It might take you 2-3 years to learn how to build a swimming pool. If you hire somebody else, it might be done in a month, but you're going to have a pretty big bill attached to that, and you may not hire right the first time. If you know how to make offers, like literally 2 minutes later, you're swimming. So if what you want in life is to swim, metaphorically, let's make some offers and go get it. That's what I'm about more than anything. Is like let's take that dramatic journey that everybody else says you have to do. And by the way, all you guys are struggling with outreach and ads and content, it's because you don't know how to make offers. By the way, so let's make offers sexy again, and not just in the Hermosi way, where most people interpreted it to mean promise a bigger guarantee. That was a small part of the book, by the way. That was a small part of the book. Like I don't know how people missed so much of the other stuff he said, but the small part of the book was like strap an over the top guarantee to it. Like most of it was the rest of the stuff about like getting somebody a result quickly, removing the barrier and obstacle, increasing their certainty of success, solving all their micro problems, and building something that's repeatable. Like I feel like people missed all that good shit and focused on the part where he said, or $1,000 of your money back, that part. So anyways, that's all I got. Oh, also, like again, for those of you guys who missed, I believe we have 1 or 2 spots open for January. They're tentatively, I have somebody who said they're probably going to take them. But if you guys would like to hang with me, we're filling up. So now is the time to give me the old I'm in. I put a link to the Google Doc in the comments. Hopefully it showed up correctly. And check that out. And get back to me because it's some life-changing shit. And by the way, those of you guys who come in person are going to get some of those tools swiped and implemented for you. I'm going to get you some of those bots and tools I've been building so you can you'll be able to crank out offers in like 15 seconds. It'll blow your mind actually how fast, how well we've programmed that. So anyways, I appreciate you guys. Much love. Happy Monday. May the force be with you. And I'll see you guys in 2025 because this is the last one of the 2024. So I'll see you guys in the new year. Much love and happy Monday. Hey guys, if you like this video, you may also like my best-selling book here, Beyond the Agency Box. It is all about scaling a digital marketing agency while eliminating meetings and phone calls. We actually sell our stuff phoneless. We don't have any client meetings, and we also hire our team entirely without meeting phone calls, which allows us to, actually kind of live a life. I've laid out the entire blueprint in everything you need to know, getting clients, onboarding, setting expectations, scaling, building a team, you name it. It has been a bestseller on Amazon now for over 5 straight years, but now you can get it even cheaper than you can get it on Amazon. So I can't tell you the exact price because it may change when this video is released, but there should be a link to it below, either in the description of the video or as well as a pinned comment. So if you're interested in that, check out that video and you can get a copy for super cheap.